Welcome Protectors, it's me Crashy here, and I'm going to be recording a guide for you guys, for a lot of you beginners, new to Infinite Crisis or new to MOBAs. I just really wanted to get into it, so I made a custom lobby. You can see I've got like 3 Crashy accounts and some friends of mine that are going to help me out, so big shout out to them. And I want to go over some things with you guys. So first, I'm just going to pick Nightmare Batman, whatever, and we're going to go over a little bit of the spells and how the Amplifier Sets. So I really don't have that much time. I want to get into it. A lot of these spells, if you're coming from League of Legends, are just going to be like your stolen powers. If not, they're basically an additional ability that can help you. So some of the good ones to look at are, you know, heal, teleport. Obviously, a lot of these things are going to be really obvious. Meteor drop is going to be a dropping damage effect. Invulnerability is going to be, you know, shield that blocks damage. Heal, obviously heal you. You have things like consume and detonate, which are more primarily used in the jungle or to secure the last hit on specific kills. Psychic Assault is a slow. Super Strength is a unique ability to this game, where you can basically pick up an environmental object, open up pathways, and throw it, use it for damage. Super Speed is going to be general, you know, pretty obvious. And then these are very important. The surveillance cameras are going to be used for vision control. Definitely want to have some of these, as well as maybe one X-ray on your team. With traps not really having a super large home, but they can be useful, and then teleports as well. So I think we covered a little bit, you know, just a small intro into how the stolen powers work and how they're good and how they can be used. And so I'm going to go ahead and take these powers really quick, whatever. I'm going to talk really briefly over Amplifier Sets. I might have just to do an entirely new video over this, but in any case, you know, we'll get into it. So going into the loading screen, amplifiers basically are an additional set of stats and changes that make you as a protector and your champion stronger. So the whole course, the whole point of a MOBA is to get into a game and to constantly make your character stronger. And with that, I'm going to be using the game.infinitecrisis.com/en page. It's a very, you know, small brief guide that they've provided, and I want to kind of read off of it with you guys, as well as explain some on my own. So the first thing it says, it talks about the maps, which obviously we're playing Gotham Divided, which I would definitely recommend you at least try to learn. If you're really new to the game, you might want to check out Gotham Heights, kind of learn the mechanics and learn how the game exactly is. But they go into shaping your shape how you fight. And with that, they talk about augments, mods, and stolen powers, which we've kind of covered. And again, I'm probably going to do an additional video for AMP pages. And so some basic controls, you right-click on your mouse to move your character. As you can see, I'm just kind of right-clicking. Or you could hold it and move your mouse, but it's most effective to right-click. You get a little bit better control. I can keep my character kind of in the same spot, and that'll be very useful in lane. To select your abilities, you have a couple different ways you can do it. You have 4 main abilities, and then your passive, and you'll, as you progress through the game, you're going to actually, every level, you're going to get a new point to spend. This is kind of like the micromanagement of the game. For you new players, you may not, you know, which spells to max first. That kind of comes with time and practice. But so you know, you can press the check mark, or what I do to be a little bit quicker and be a little bit more on my toes is I control and press the spell. So tab is the button for passive. You have Q, W, E, and R. So I control W there, and then it selected my spell. Now, here at the base, we can open up our artifact foundry, and artifacts are going to be the items that you purchase throughout the game to make your champion and make you as a protector stronger to help you achieve victory. So to press the P key, or you can press the gold counter down here, and you can see the artifact foundry comes up, and the first thing you see as a new player is the recommended artifacts. And I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee that you've been building off of these if you're a brand new player, but you need to try to just learn to get away from this. It's really going to pamper you, and eventually it's just going to hurt you in the long run. And just go to this all artifacts. Now you can see here that your character is mostly damaged, so I can see, you know, he's mostly damaged. He's got you know, some offensive items and things like that, some defensive items, but you don't really see what else is in there unless you go to the all artifacts. So all artifacts is broken up into 3 different sections: attack, health, and power. And if you looked at the recommended, this is about the only thing it's really good for. It kind of shows you what type of damage you're doing, or you could always just come down and read your spells. So this guy looks primarily like he's attack, as we're going to go ahead and see that. So we're going to go to all artifacts again, and I'm going to start to look for some of these items. Good recommendation that I can give for you guys is to always look at these nil weapons. So there's nil weapon, nil cloak, and nil ring. and those 3 are going to be used at the start of games to help you kind of progress into the from the early game to the mid game, and then later on you'll sell them in the late game. So let's look at a laning, just a general laning build. So if I had bought that, this also has the preset mod on it that gets it 100 credits off. It would have been 500 gold, and I would have been left with 250. Never just don't spend all your gold. I know that came out a little funky, but always spend your gold. For this champion, he doesn't use mana, so I'm going to look at these, or he doesn't use will, excuse me. So I'm going to look at these pots down here, and this Tech-type vial restores health and will. The modular will pack restores will, and the health pack, or modular health pack, restores health. So I would take 3 of these, and that would be a good start. I think it would leave you with 50 gold left over whenever you only take 3. If you're using somebody else that uses kind of both mana and health, you could always look to take, or mana and will, health and will, jeez. Then you can look to kind of vary up your potion selects. But you always want to spend as much gold as you can. Try to get the most out of your early game with the gold that you're given. And just make sure you're doing that. So now you can see on the side there are definitely filters. So if you just want to look at specific types of items, you can filter out and kind of see them. This becomes a little bit more useful when you start to theory craft on your own. If you're really new, theory crafting is basically the sit down and thought of ideas that you can put together on your own for either specific strategies, specific builds, things like that. So once you kind of like start to theory craft on your own, you see how your champion plays, you see how you would like to play him, you can start to look at the artifacts in a different way in the Foundry using the filters. So I guess that's a pretty good overview on some of the artifacts. I'm not going to go into specific detail on how to build, but just make sure you're buying items. You know, it's on the P key or the gold counter at the bottom. Make sure you try to spend out that gold as much as you can. So now in Gotham Divided, there are the deployables and the cameras in the base. It's only going to be seen on this map. If you are at the base, you're on a new team, you're not really strategizing, just make sure you grab one of these cameras. It's gonna actually go onto your T key, which I don't think has a name, but I just kind of think of it as equipment. So it's kind of like on your equipment T key, and then you're actually able to go out, press T on your mouse pointer, and put another surveillance camera. It's really good to use in these tri-bushes, up above to see enemy jungler gankings, and things like that. So let's talk about the game as a MOBA as a whole. Basically, MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, and you're given towers and objectives and these artifacts and teammates to help you achieve your goal of victory. So how do you achieve that goal? That goal is achieved through pushing, taking down their towers, taking down the objectives, and using all of these skills and all of these things implemented in the game to make your champion and you as a protector better and stronger. So there's the enemy power core. You want to push in, kill all these turrets, kill these dampeners, and take down that power core. But it's not just that simple. You don't just constantly push. You have to look at the pros and cons of pushing. You have to look at the pros and cons of giving and losing objectives. So, and this again is just going to be more centered at Coast City and Gotham Divided, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on how this map works as much as just how the MOBA genre works in general. So, in the majority of MOBA game types, other than Gotham Heights, which is really kind of just like a way to learn and a way to test things, there is an urban jungle. And the urban jungle is extremely important. I'm going to go ahead and run out into the urban jungle a little bit to give you guys an example. If you share lanes with other friendlies, you're actually splitting the amount of gold that you're earning, and you're splitting the experience. So I want to get into jungling because if you're a new player, jungling is a great place to start. It gives you a lot of room to not mess up in lane. It's kind of solo and isolated, and it is my personal main as a role, and my favorite because I love what it's meant to do. So there are camps, the urban jungle camps in the jungle, and you can see here that basically my job throughout the game would not be to be in a lane killing the drones in the lane, but I would be in the jungle. And the reason this is important is because you take one person out of your team to not split the golden experience, so that means we're going to have potential stronger laners in lane, and I'm also getting the same golden experience that I need to get for myself throughout the jungle. The other plus side on that is that the urban jungle has 2 camps on your side, on the friendly side, that give you deployables. If you see these 3 little nodes here in the base, they're going to be the deployables that you use throughout this map, and this is very Gotham Divided specific. But if I kill this camp, it has the health, it's the green node, and it'll drop a deployable. You can stack that up to rank 2, but again, I don't want to go into too much detail. But as a whole, you definitely have to have a jungler. It's way better than having 2 duo lanes and a solo lane. So if you're looking to get into the game, you're not really sure how to lane, maybe try out jungle. Maybe I'll do a more of a comprehensive jungle guide on Gotham Divided, if I didn't already do one, or if that one wasn't quite as detailed as it should be. Another plus, or another thing to think about when you're jungling, these 3 items, the Marauder Knife, the Marauder Shield, and the Marauder Ring, are going to be primarily used in jungle, as the Marauder Burst passives actually affect only the urban jungle creatures, and not the drones in lane. So when looking to enhance your skills or do better as a jungler, then you can see that these knives and shields and rings are going to be kind of like the go-to items, or an item that you can pick up on top of your core build, to kind of help you with your jungle clear and help you secure things as well. So that's the jungle. Now let's talk a little bit about the artifacts, the credits, drones, turrets, things of that nature. So you are able to buy artifacts at your turret now. It's a new implementation that they put in the game not that long ago. So again, you just press your P key, and say the gold that I've earned myself in lane is, you know, right under 900 now, and I want to buy a Promethean mace. It's usually better to go on ahead and build up a specific item, unless of course you're trying to counter build, which comes with a little bit more advanced tactics, like seeing what your enemy has and trying to buy items that are going to counter that, like armor or additional health and things like that. Also, you need to make sure that you're building to your champion strengths. So for example, I'm building a Promethean mace because I can buy it in lane, I'll be able to sell it back later because of the refundable passive that gives me all my gold back on it, and then buy an item that will be stronger for me in the future. Now, laning is extremely important in a game like this because it basically depicts how you trade with your enemy, how you get your gold and your experience, and just in general, who has the stronger transition from early to mid game to late game to help you essentially win the game. So laning is very important, and I want to talk about credits and the drones in the lane. So credits are earned by either picking up a coin, last hitting a minion, which I'll get to in a second, or by killing jungle creatures, getting kills and things of the such. As a laner, the most way you'll find yourself getting credits is by killing the drones. So you can see this drone I'm going to go ahead and kill, and I earned 27 credits off of. That was me getting the last hit. I'm going to let the turret kill this one, I'm going to pick up the coin, and I got 6 credits. So letting a minion kill a drone will drop a big coin. Letting a turret kill a drone will drop a little coin, and then last hitting will get you the max amount. So you can see I'm really trying to focus the minions that are going to give me those last hits. I'm trying to let the turret do a lot of the work for me, and then I pick off the last hit. This is also very easy to do if you have the recycling nil mod. So when looking to build out some pages, try to keep that in mind as well. So I can also see that my Promethean mace needs an upgrade, and making sure that buying at the towers is being utilized as best as possible. Now, in an enemy matchup, there's going to be 2 ways to really hurt your enemies in lane. One is, well, I guess it could be called 3 ways. One is going to be by making sure you're trying to get as many of your last hits as possible, so that way you're earning more gold and experience than he is. And the other is going to be stomping credits out. You can see the gray coins. When my minion is killed, there's a gray coin that I can stomp over, and it says a -11, which basically means that they aren't getting that gold that I just stomped out. So if they're a skilled player, they're going to obviously be going for their last hits. But if not so skilled, or just, you know, not able to be so attentive, then they're going to be you know, missing those stomped out credits that you're able to walk over. The last way to really hurt your opponent in lane is to win the poke fight, or basically win your trade. And the best way to explain that is your enemy will be across from you trying to do the same thing that you're doing with these last hits, and you want to try to put some damage on him. The best way to do that is to try to get a few hits in, right-click him, auto-attack him, use some abilities on him if you can, without losing the trade. The more you damage them, the more susceptible they are to ganks. The harder it is for them to stay in the lane. They may have to base and go back to the base to, you know, re-heal up, refill their pots and their potions, and ultimately will get you more and more ahead of them. Obviously, with jungler ganks coming out of the urban jungle to help you, it's going to affect how that plays out for you and your team. But this is just the best you can do as an individual laner. So what have we gone over? We've talked about the urban jungle, the importance of buying artifacts and spending the majority of your gold up front to help you transition from early to mid to late game. And we've talked about how to lane a little bit better. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the turrets and how they work, and I don't know, just how to play around the turrets. So the turrets will fire shots. I can't give you a speed. I don't have that kind of information, but they'll fire shots at the first thing that approaches them, or they will turn and target you if you are attacking an enemy champion under their turret. So you can see the drawn out lines by the turret. You definitely don't want to just walk into that radius. You're going to see I'm going to take a tower hit here, and I'm going to have to back off, and it takes does some substantial damage. So fighting under the turrets early on is a big no-no, unless it's quite organized. Fighting under turrets in general is just not something you want to be doing. So the turrets are going to be a global objective. When you kill them, then you will actually earn gold for your team, which is why it's so important to try to be the aggressors and try to earn that objective and get that that gold for your team. So again, fighting under turrets is pretty bad. You can find yourself taking a lot of additional damage and basically giving up a kill, and that's not good. So really quick, I'm going to cover a little bit of lingo. If I've missed some of you guys already on what I say, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below asking me what that word meant or what exactly that term meant, and I'll do my best to explain. So the worst thing you can do as a brand new MOBA player or a brand new player is basically feed. And feeding is just dying a lot and giving up a lot of additional gold and experience to your enemy. Obviously, with gold and experience gain in this game, you're going to be stronger, you're going to get better, and if you're feeding kills to the enemy, then they're essentially going to be stronger, better than you, and they're most likely going to win the game. So as a new player, it's really it might be hard to learn this game, but the best advice you can take, if not anything else, is just try your hardest not to die a lot. Your teammates are going to appreciate it, you're going to have a better time, and ultimately it will help you learn the game without just feeling like there's kind of no hope and that it's, you know, it's just not a game for you. So we've covered that, and I don't know, there's really not much else to cover. I guess I'm going to try to go into a little bit more about the jungler role, because it is quite an important role, and more often than not I join games with newer players that either don't understand the concept or feel like it's just a better concept for a game where you want to hard push and take out objectives, to have multiple people in the lane to help you do that than to have somebody else that's kind of just roaming around. So the jungler's main objective is really just to, it's about a few things. The main objective of a jungler is to, again, like I said, not take the golden experience in the lane, which means that two people on your team are getting stronger because of one decision to be in the jungle. The most important thing he can do is gank. Now, gank means that he comes out of the fog of war, which is basically the darkened part of the map that you cannot see. He comes out into the lane and looks to help you score a kill in your lane, which will get you more ahead, get you more gold, more experience, and again, help you be stronger as a protector and as your champion progresses. So you can see I came out of there, I look to come in, I can ult the jungler or ult the laner, help out my laner by either putting some damage down and getting that person that he's versus a kill, and or just ahead by, you know, forcing them out of the lane, or collectively we get a kill and then we're both quite far ahead. The other main role, or the other main purpose of a jungler in this map specifically, and in most MOBAs, is to score buffs or objectives, or in this case the equipment from the deployables. You have the EMP drones on the top and bottom, you have the regen and the speed drones in your side of the jungle, as well as alternating onto the opposite side. So again, getting golden experience in the jungle is important. Definitely try out that jungle role. Maybe if you're new, you may seem to like it quite a bit. So I don't know, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything else really, guys. Just make sure you're trying not to feed, try to make sure that you're making, you know, good use of your gold early. Try to spend your gold, try to buy items that you think are, you know, going to go well with the synergy of your champion. Feel free to always go check out donbase.com. I know they have some guides on there. I haven't been, you know, making that many guides on there. I just kind of still, you know, learning and figuring out the game and things on your own. I don't know. Make sure you check out the actual listed role of the champion so you can kind of get a feel for where they go. You know, assassins can be used in lane or in the jungle. Obviously, marksmen are going to probably be used in lane. Support's going to be used in lane. And that kind of breaks up into meta talk, which I'm not really going into. But that's it, more or less, guys. I hope you guys have learned a little bit from this video. Hopefully you guys will leave me a comment in the comment section below asking any questions, because as a higher level player, as someone who really understands MOBAs and how the game works, it's really hard to make a guide for newer players, because all the things that come as second nature for me are things that you have questions about. So again, guys, this has been Crashy here on YouTube on Infinite Crisis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.